Well, in 2020, the Chrissy Teigen thing.
Yeah.
So that started off when John Legend dropped his album, Bigger Love. It sold 26,000 copies, which is low for a superstar like John Legend. You gave it an L.
It was an L.
And I guess Chrissy actually posted a comment to you on I guess, your Instagram page, which she deleted. But what did she say in that comment?
Okay. So I don't know about the comment. So this is the history of me and Chrissy Teigen. And this is one of the things, like, recently, like, I was doing this whole thing on my Twitch. I was, like, responding to some dudes. And everyone's just like, yo, man, this guy is just, like, so tasteless. Like, he's just doing too much. Like why do this? And I'm like, it reminded me of the 50 Cent line, where it's like, yo, listen, you guys only see the reaction. You never see the action. So here's the context of Chrissy Teigen. When 6ix9ine went to jail, and it was very popular, a lot of people were like, oh, they had their, and especially when those jail pictures came out, she had tweeted out, the jail picture, the infamous one where he's posing with his girlfriend? Mm-hmm. She tweeted out a photoshopped picture of Tekashi and me as the girlfriend with a joke associated with it, basically saying, yeah, I could see that motherfucker doing some shit like that.
Okay. So she kind of started it in her own.
She's joking, and also in a light way type of way. I know we're heterosexual, so we have zero rights.
Yeah.
But she basically saying that nigga gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She got like 10 million followers, mad followers, right? She did that not once but twice. Mm. I always remembered it. I'm like an elephant, just like you. Mm-hmm. Except I usually respond right away. Twitter was just too much at the time. Nobody would have cared. Like, right? It was like everybody was making this. I couldn't. So anyway, I always wanted to respond to her because I watched her on social media, and she was a social media bully. She would be on social media. She would she would kind of figure out that she could lead the mob in terms of cancellation or bullying, but she would do it in a way that just amused her. And I'm like, damn. The reason why I didn't respond right away, I'm like, yo, you can't go up against the mob. And for one moment, I thought I was within my arena, which was Twitch, and also within a moment that I thought was very fair to criticize her and her husband. I said, yo, listen, John Legend sold 20-something thousand. Mm-hmm. You're the loudest fucking mouth on Twitter. You spend every day bullying someone else. You're leading a mob to cancel people left, right, but how about you fucking lead a mob to go buy his album? Now, I did throw a couple colorful words.
Well, I'll read your quote.
What did I say?
You said, I don't care if you John Legend's bitch or any other bitch. How about you take that fucking big ass mouth of yours and that fucking weird ass looking face and start promoting your man's album? Maybe he wouldn't be doing 25,000 fucking his first week.
That sounds like a quote, man. But
and there was something about suck a dick or some shit like that in there. As well.
Yeah. And I think that's a part that I probably shouldn't have put in there. But if we remove all the other stuff from it, the point is there. It was me just saying, hey, listen, how about it wasn't until later till people started looking at Chrissy as a social media bully.
Right, because she ended up getting kind of canceled herself.
Yeah, and by the way, I have the utmost sympathy for her because it's until you're on the receiving end of that do you ever fully understand it. Mm-hmm. And she was the person that had the torch and just pointing and the torch and the pitchfork and saying, "We're going to this person's house." And everyone was marching behind her. And the moment, and I read all her, I read everything she had to say in the moments of people turning against her. And she was just she was basically talking about being a social media addict. She says it's hard to sleep knowing how people don't like her.
Really?
Yes. You never read all, I read everything. This is why, and by the way, I have nothing against her, but I obviously put it out in a way that, was cancelable, right? But it was a reaction to someone who was using their platform to essentially bully me.
Yeah.
And now when I seen that she felt helpless, you have to read. She kept putting up these things like, yo, I feel like she said something like, yo, I feel I'm lost and I have no purpose. She has no purpose without Twitter.
Yeah. How about you just turn off social media?